And we're back. Hi, I'm Tom Barry, and welcome to The New Left. Things have really changed since our last video, but I'm not going to cover the horror movie that 2020's been. Everything is falling apart. Instead, I want to focus on what we do next and how we fix things, because no one out there is going to do it for us. Not the Democrats, not the Republicans, not any of those criminals in government. But why is that? Why is everyone corrupt? And why won't anyone help us, help the people? The Democrats are supposed to be on our side, but they sell us out at every turn when it comes to war, NAFTA, the media, the banks, welfare, Social Security. They rig their own elections and lie like used car salesmen as they pass Republican policy. There's a systemic misunderstanding in America of how the party system works. This delusion that if we just elect the right leaders, then we can change the party from the inside. This is the lie that we've all been trained to believe. A political party is not some movement or even a structure of democracy that can just be taken over. They are powerful private corporations. We vote for corporations in America. The Democratic Party and the DNC are actually just an alias for a company called the Democratic Services Corporation, a company that owns the Democratic Party. It has a CEO and officers, just like any other company. So, who is the CEO of the Democratic Party? It's this guy, Joe Solmonese. Before him, Seema Nanda ran the party, and before her, it was Beth Cahill. I'm going to guess that you probably haven't heard of any of these people, but how is that possible? How do we not know the CEO that runs the party? How do we not know that we even have a CEO? And while the CEO runs the party, they're not the real power that's inside of it. The real power is something called the Executive Committee. It's a group of 10 people that function as board members of this company. And just like any company, this board is ruled by a chairman, except this chairman is a lot more like a king because the chair decides who gets to be on the board that controls the company. And he can remove and replace any of its members, putting the chair in complete control of the entire party. The current chair of the DNC is Perez, and for all intents and purposes, the Democratic Party belongs to him right now. So, how do we become this all-powerful chair so that we can take over the party from the inside? Well, the chair is appointed by the president, the same president that was nominated by the last chair of the party. And if there's not a sitting Democratic president to do this coronation, then the chair is chosen by an elite group of 447 party insiders. You see the problem here? If the Democratic Party is a corporation, and that corporation is ruled by an executive committee, and that committee is ruled by a chairman, and the chairman's an all-powerful dictator who nominates the president, who picks the chair, who nominates the president, who picks the chair, then how are we, the people, supposed to insert ourselves into this and just take control from them? I mean, it's never going to happen. It's a private company that can do whatever it wants, as the courts have ruled. The DNC argued in court that it is their right to smoke cigars in the back room, ignore the election results, and pick whoever they want for president, and the judge agreed. That's America. This is the law. There is no democracy inside of the party. The DNC is a corporation that sells power to the highest bidder. Politicians are its employees, donors are its customers. There's only one way to take over a private company in America, and that's to buy it. Something that Hillary Clinton did in 2016. She literally bought the Democratic Party with this document called the Joint Fundraising Agreement. She gave the DNC money, and the DNC gave her complete control of the party. A candidate for president bought the party, took control, rigged the elections, and gave herself the nomination. This is real life, and this is how it works. As Howard Dean said, this was standard operating procedure. So the party's real job then becomes covering up this highway robbery, to play theater while pretending to resist the Republicans who are actually their partners in crime. The Democrats encourage all of us progressives to run inside the party so that we can change things. But really, so they can take our energy, our hope, and enthusiasm and smash it into a brick wall, leaving us so broken and hopeless that we'll actually consider voting for a pro-war corporate rapist who jailed millions of black people. As long as the party can claim ownership of our ideas, then they'll twist those ideas to their purposes. And any power that we build inside this party is borrowed power that can be taken away. We have to stop voting for corporations and leave the Democratic Party behind. Because this corporation is never going to give us the change that we're so desperate for. They're actually designed to stop us from ever getting it. But saying all of this, we need to be very clear-eyed about what leaving the party means, because we live in a duopoly that crushes outside competition. There can only be two major parties in America, because if a candidate for president does not get at least half of all the electoral votes, even while beating all the other candidates, then the government itself, not the people, picks the new president and shuts out any challenge to their power. So if we're going to be successful, we can't just create something to compete against the Democratic Party. We have to create something to replace the Democratic Party, something that can't be co-opted and that puts power in the hands of the people and has some sort of mechanism to hold its leaders accountable. And it's not the Green Party. It's just another corporation that can be bought and sold by the highest bidder, as we're seeing play out now in their primary. What we need is a movement for a people's party or something like it that shifts the balance of power and gives us a foundation that we can stand on, something we can build on. And we're not going to win in the short term because it's too rigged against us, but we don't have to win right away. We just have to build an organization that's large enough that no one else can win without us. Then the Democratic Party would be forced to give in to at least some of our demands if they ever want to win elections again. That's how power works. And this is a long-term plan, so we'd better hurry up because we're staring down the barrel of global catastrophes like war, climate change, mass extinction, financial collapse, famine, slavery, fascism, white supremacy, police brutality. I mean, this list goes on. We're out of time. Our 9 lives are up, and humanity isn't going to make it much longer if we don't do something soon. So let's leave the DNC behind and ground our hope in each other instead of corporations, instead of leaders, and then we'll have a real chance. Because hope that's grounded in reality is a powerful and subversive force, and it's going to take all of us together and all of us awake to change this world. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to click like and subscribe. Also, be sure to ring that bell if you'd like notifications when we release new videos, and I promise they are coming. Also, you can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at wearethenewleft. And if Corona hasn't stolen your job and you'd like to see more videos like this, then please consider supporting the show on Patreon or donating.